people love drama, but they never expect it to unfold right on their quiet suburban street. On a sunny afternoon, 12-year-old Malik was riding his bike near the cul-de-sac, enjoying the last days of summer before school started. His laughter echoed as he weaved between the sidewalks, completely harmless. But one person saw it differently. From behind her perfectly trimmed hedges, Karen, the head of the HOA, narrowed her eyes. To her, every little thing was a violation, every sound an annoyance. She marched outside, her voice sharp as she accused Malik of trespassing and causing a disturbance. Malik froze, unsure what he had done wrong. His small smile faded as Karen pulled out her phone. Neighbors peeked through blinds, whispering. Karen, with full confidence, declared she was calling the police. Malik's stomach twisted. What could a kid like him do against an adult's word? The phone call rang out in the air, and Karen's tone grew smug. But what no one knew was that the call would soon backfire in the most unbelievable way. The words, "police are on their way," hit Malik like a wave of fear. He had done nothing, yet his heart pounded in his chest. Karen folded her arms, glaring down at him as if he were guilty of a crime. "You people need to learn rules," she muttered under her breath, words dripping with superiority. Malik tried to explain, his small voice trembling, "I live here. I was just riding my bike." But Karen scoffed, shaking her head, unwilling to listen. The air around them grew heavy as other neighbors gathered in silence. Some looked uncomfortable, others pretended not to see. Malik wanted to run, but his legs felt like they were rooted to the ground. Moments later, the distant hum of sirens broke through the tense air. Karen's smirk widened. Finally, she muttered, convinced she had the upper hand. Malik lowered his gaze, preparing for the worst. But little did he know, the person stepping out of that patrol car would change everything. The police cruiser pulled up slowly, its lights flashing red and blue across the neatly painted houses. Karen straightened her blouse, smoothing her hair as though she had just accomplished something noble. Malik's throat tightened, he braced himself for a stranger in uniform to question him. But the moment the car door swung open, silence swept across the street. Out stepped a tall, commanding woman in uniform. Her badge glistened under the sun, her stride confident. Karen's smug smile faltered for the first time. Malik blinked in disbelief, because standing before him was his mother, Chief Angela Johnson, the town's newly appointed police chief. She scanned the scene, instantly locking eyes with her son. Karen's words caught in her throat. "Why your son?" she stammered. The neighbors gasped, whispering. Malik's heart flooded with relief, but he also knew, this was just the beginning. His mom's expression was calm, but her sharp gaze promised that the truth would now come to light. Chief Johnson walked toward Malik, kneeling to his level first. "You okay, baby?" she asked softly, her voice full of care. Malik nodded, though his eyes were still damp. Rising, she turned her attention to Karen, who suddenly seemed smaller than before. "You called the police on my child?" Chief Johnson's voice carried authority that made everyone listening shift uncomfortably. Karen tried to recover, waving her hands nervously. "He was loitering. Disturbing the peace. I didn't know he was yours." But her excuses rang hollow. Chief Johnson studied her, unflinching. "You didn't see a child playing. You saw a problem where none existed." Karen's cheeks burned red. The neighbors whispered louder now, some shaking their heads. The power Karen once wielded over the community was slipping, piece by piece. Malik stood taller beside his mom, feeling a wave of protection he hadn't before. But deep down, Karen wasn't ready to give up her authority without one last attempt to justify herself. Karen crossed her arms, her voice cracking but still desperate to defend herself. "This neighborhood has standards. If we let one person break the rules, everything falls apart." She tried to rally the onlookers, but none spoke in her favor. Chief Johnson's eyes narrowed. "Standards don't mean targeting children. Standards don't mean using fear as a weapon." Her words cut through the air like a blade. Malik clung to every syllable, pride swelling in his chest. Karen stuttered, I didn't mean," but Angela stepped forward, her presence firm. "Intent matters less than impact. You humiliated a boy for riding his bike. You called the police for nothing. And worse, you thought no one would question you." The crowd shifted uneasily, now clearly against Karen. For the first time, Karen realized she wasn't in control. Her voice trembled. I just wanted order, but the silence from her neighbors told her the truth. She was standing alone. The weight of Karen's actions pressed down on her as the chief's words echoed. Malik's eyes glimmered with both relief and pride, standing taller beside his mother. This community doesn't need fear, Chief Johnson said firmly, turning to the neighbors. It needs understanding. It needs fairness. It needs to know that every child belongs. Applause rose quietly from the crowd, growing stronger with each clap. For the first time, Malik felt seen not just as a kid, but as part of something bigger. Karen's face crumbled, her bravado shattered. She glanced around for support, but found none. Every neighbor's stare reflected the truth she couldn't escape. With her power slipping, she stammered, maybe I was wrong. Her words were faint, but they carried the weight of surrender. The chief nodded, her expression calm. Growth begins with admitting mistakes. Karen lowered her gaze, finally silenced. Malik reached for his mom's hand, feeling warmth in the place fear had once lived. The sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the street in golden light. What began as a moment of fear had transformed into something unforgettable. Malik smiled again, not the nervous smile from before, but one full of strength. He knew his mom wasn't just his protector, she was the community's leader, and she had shown everyone what real authority looked like. Chief Johnson placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Never let anyone make you feel small, she whispered. The neighbors began to disperse, many stopping to smile at Malik, offering quiet words of encouragement. Karen lingered, her pride broken, but perhaps a seed of reflection finally planted. Malik rode his bike again that evening, his laughter returning, ringing louder than ever before. This time, no one complained. Instead, the neighborhood listened, and they remembered. A simple bike ride had revealed a truth bigger than any rulebook: respect, fairness, and love will always silence fear.